The Lyric Theatre is preparing to stage a reimagined version of the great Shakespearean play Richard III. The title character is being played by Belfast actor Michael Patrick, who was diagnosed with motor neuron disease last year. He's been speaking to our reporter Paul Reilly about his life-limiting condition and how he's drawing on his own experiences to portray the iconic role, not to mention the acting legend who's throwing his support behind the production.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this son of York.
Actor Michael Patrick is embracing his passion for Shakespeare, preparing to play one of the greats in an adapted version of Richard III.
Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths. So in Shakespeare's version, Richard is disabled from birth, and in real life, Richard had scoliosis. They realised that when they dug him up in the car park. But we're changing it slightly so that Richard is newly disabled at the start of the play. The play opens, Richard's brother becomes king, and Richard's given this diagnosis that's terminal. And then the whole thing then becomes, what do you do with the remaining time you have left? You know, Richard only has a few years left to live, much like I do. What do you do with that time?
Michael was diagnosed with motor neuron disease on the 1st of February 2023.
And it's, it's a death sentence, really. It's average life expectancy after diagnosis is 3 to 5 years. So that's about halfway there. It's hard to know what you do, I try and make jokes about it, and then everyone around me goes, "Stop making jokes about that." And I'm like, "What? I'm just making jokes about dying." But that's how I process it, I suppose. It's tricky. I am on a drug trial, a potential new treatment in Dublin, which is good. So, touch wood for there. But you can't rely on that.
Being at the Lyric will be a career highlight for Michael, who's enjoyed success on both stage and screen.
Plays I've written have been on the main stage, but I've never actually acted on the main stage. So it means so much to me, and I adore Shakespeare. I did 2 years at the Royal Shakespeare Company, I've done Shakespeare at the Abbey in Dublin, never done anything here at the Lyric, so I can't believe that I get this opportunity. So it's nice to have something to put your pain into, I suppose, and if you can't make money off your pain, you've no business being an artist. So there's a lot of other actors who've been in wheelchairs since birth and don't get the opportunities. Since I've been in a wheelchair, I've had very few auditions. I've had 1 or 2 from stuff they're specifically looking for a wheelchair actor, but a lot of plays, a lot of TV shows, I could have been in a wheelchair and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, It's not just me in the show. There's myself, who's a wheelchair user. There's my role share actor. I'm sharing the role with another actor, Zach Ford-Williams. He was in Bridgerton. He's a wheelchair user. And we also have a deaf signing actor, Paula Clark. So, yeah, it's just showing that it's raising visibility, raising awareness of it. Stuff people don't know about until you start interacting with it, I suppose.
Navigating a stage and navigating the process of being in the bright lights again. How are you finding that with your MND?
Yeah, that's why we have the role share, because I don't really know, because fatigue is part of it. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, so. But I was supposed to be in Midsummer. I was actually cast in Midsummer Night's Dream at the Lyric. I had to drop out because I developed blood clots in my lungs. It was a whole thing. But I did find speaking Shakespeare again. I loved it. I was on cloud 9 every day, coming in, being able to speak the language again. So yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing to do it now.
Hello, welcome to the Lyric Theatre. We have been fundraising for this production as well. We actually used one of our performances of A Midsummer to fundraise for all those accessibility costs, and thankfully we've been doing really well to do that, so we're able to provide that to make it completely accessible for all the actors, so that there is no difference at all. Paula is able to be within the full cast because there's a full-time interpreter there. Plus, we're also learning BSL sign language at the theatre. We've been doing it now for years, so there are lots of ways that we are trying to ensure that it is as smooth as possible.
Hello, Ian McKellen. One of my favourite parts on film and on stage was Shakespeare's Richard III. And I'm excited to tell you about a production of that play happening at the Lyric Theatre in Belfast in October and November, with Michael Patrick playing Richard III. Michael's recently been diagnosed with motor neuron disease and will be playing the part in a wheelchair. I think it'll be fascinating to to see and an exciting production. Just thought I'd let you know about it. Bye-bye.
How did you feel when Ian McKellen sort of spoke about this play?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, you know. Ian McKellen, it's Gandalf. Also, you know, very serious Shakespeare acting as well, but he's also Gandalf, which is class. Yeah, he's such a generous man. You know, he came to Lyric a few years ago when he did his 80th birthday. He went around 80 theatres around the UK and gave the money back to the theatre. So the director of this piece, Oisin Kearney, he was resident assistant director at the Lyric for a year, and the funding came from Ian McKellen's show. So he's always been there. He's always been supporting, you know, supporting the arts, and can't believe he took time out of his day to say, come see Mick doing Richard III. Because his Richard III it's one of the seminal ones, you know, they made it into film, he's brilliant on it, so it's nice to have that support.
I get a sense you're having a good time. I get a sense you're looking forward to this performance.
I can't wait.
What other ambitions do you still have? Because clearly you've come this far. You're not giving up, Mick. You've fight in you.
Oh yeah.
What else do you want to do?
Myself and my writing partner, Oisin Kearney, who's directing the piece. We're also currently writing a comedy about a young man getting motor neuron disease. So we'd love to get that off the ground and have that be a TV show. We've written the first 2 episodes, working with 2 cities on that. Love to get that broadcast, yeah.
MND has been in the news.
Yeah.
You know, we're becoming a lot more familiar with this condition. What's inspiring you? Who's inspiring you? Or are you inspiring yourself?
That's a good question. I don't know. It's I find it strange when people say to me, you're so inspirational, you know, you're so inspirational. It's like, well, what else am I going to do? Lie in bed and die? You know, you need to go out and do things, enjoy your life. I don't know. I don't think I could just sit at home. You know, I need to be out doing stuff. So I don't know if that's inspirational or not, but it's what I do.
Well, we're glad you are. Thank you, Mick. Thank you so much.
Thanks
That
very
was
much.
great.
Thank
Cheers.
you.